What's up, rebels, non-rebels, adjusters, just hanging out? Andy McCabe here. This is the Restoration Rebel Roundtable for the 31st of January, 2024. I am, honestly, just not feeling it today. I don't know, something hit me the last 30 minutes or so. I'm like, I just lost my steam. I don't know what's going on. So, it doesn't look like we have anyone else on the show, and I don't really have a whole lot to talk about. So maybe it's going to be a short one. It'll just be a short show. Um, I apologize, people. Sometimes, I try to bring some positivity and some good energy, and man, today it just took it all out of me. I think I'll tell you what it was. I spent Uh, a lot of my day on sales calls, which are good, but sales calls require so much energy and so much attention. I enjoy sales. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy providing solutions. But man, if you've got five, like I mean, the last sales call was an hour and 45 minutes. We were on the horn. Um, great folks out of Alabama, and they're going to become quick check clients, but and just tired. And then in between sales calls, I was doing nothing but answering stupid rebuttal emails from adjusters. And then right before I go live here, I get another response to one of my rebuttals, and it's just asinine what these adjusters are talking about here. And it's this he said he did the IICRC pints per day calculation, and he came up with 33 pints per day. Okay, fine. I understand that. But I can't buy a dehumidifier that only does 33 pints per day. I can't. What do you want me to do? Cut one in half? Charge for half a dehu? Um, and then he's talking about cleanup hours. He's trying to tell me how much time it should have taken me to clean up this job and supervise this job. And I don't know. I don't know. I'll let Bobby Payne, Mr. Bobby Payne. All right, I'll get you a comment in here. What's up, Epic? What do you think about the WeScope in Circle announcement? Is that the same as what you and I are doing with the certified in Circle, or do you think it's something else? WeScope in Circle announcement. I didn't catch it. You want to give me a link? What's WeScope doing? WeScope in Circle announcement. Are they announced a partnership? I know WeScope is. Maybe they announced a partnership that they didn't tell us about. Right, all us in Circle certified folks. I mean, there's in Circle certified badge right there. Um. So yeah, man. Tell me more. Do tell. I'm curious now. You've got me curious. I'll look here in a second. I think I'm gonna stick on this riff though, because I think it's a common riff of this is a shared pain. We all spend countless hours responding to asinine rejection letters and denial letters from adjusters based on improper logic. That's what it comes down to. They don't use good logic, and they don't, at the end of the day, have any verifiable authority. Right? They are not subject matter experts in mold damage or water damage or fire damage. They're not subject matter experts. They're just fucking adjusters. All right? They weren't raised in the trades, although all those adjusters out there, I was a contractor in 1983. Well, if it was working for you in 1983, why are you an adjuster now? Right? Seems like a hell of a backwards track to take from from a stand-up contractor to a lowly adjuster that makes their living by screwing people. Um, Maybe I'm just being overly whatever. All right, I need to calm myself down a little bit. Um, let's. I'm going to continue down this road. I can't. I'm not going to share. Um, okay. Bobby says, "Go to." Okay, here you go. Here you go, Bobby. Go to LinkedIn. They did a post yesterday. All right, we can go to LinkedIn. I can share LinkedIn. I can't share this other screen because it has people's names and stuff. I'm going to pull up LinkedIn on this in this here. Let's do a share. Let's do it. Let's go to LinkedIn, present, and share my screen. There we go. Okay. Let's talk about it. Oh, it's Mr. Ed Cross. What's up? Is anyone out there going to the Ed Cross is having a pre conference at the RA pre conference thing? I guess I'll just do a search here, huh? Do we do a we scope? Let's do a search. Posts. Let's go here. You're not. No, no. I'm getting close. Tell me I'm getting close. Yeah, I do need it. Yeah, I'm with you. Here you go. Yeah, I do need one of those. I need a drink. I sound like I need a drink, don't I? Okay. Hello, WeScope is currently looking for some qualified coordinators. Nope, that's not it. Huh. Well, do we just go here? Let's just go here and see if we can't see their posts, huh? Posts right there. I know people at WeScope. I'm a fan. Oh, here we go. WeScope Plus Encircle, revolutionizing property restoration. WeScope Plus Encircle unite. This effort makes a new era. I'm getting blown up on text message over here. Okay, all right. Merging time. Okay. I think they are probably. Let's see what this link does. They are probably Encircle certified, just like Quick Check, just like Epic Estimates is Encircle certified. Are they on that list of 4? Maybe there's a list of 5 now. I don't know. About Encircle, about WeScope, how it works. Yeah, I think they're just this is not a partnership in I think as much as they would like to make it look like a partnership. Um, no offense, WeScope, but you're not the only game in town, right? You got Bobby over here doing some massive, awesome work out of Washington State, and those folks. I've been in the business for a long time. Yeah, we get it. We get it. We like Encircle. Yeah, you like Encircle. We like Encircle. Encircle's a great tool. I'll tell you what. Encircle has come up. Let's not advertise for WeScope anymore. Okay. Good job, WeScope. Good advertising. Good way to whatever. Here we go. Let's talk about Encircle though, because Encircle came up several times today in my sales calls. We got people pairing up Encircle with Accelerate. Accelerate, another great software, but Encircle's checking so many goddamn great boxes for adjusters. I'm sorry. Whoa, that's a misspoke. For contractors, it's the sketch tool is phenomenal. Their Hydro is really good, but they're revamping the Hydro module this year. By the way, I'm looking forward to that because they've integrated some of the 24-hour text system to it. But all in all, Encircle is really, I think they're hands down ready to really destroy the market and these other guys. You know, there's always going to be a spot for Matterport in my heart. Say that several times fast. Because Matterport, you know, love them or hate them, the technology is on point. It is the gold standard of documentation. It really is. And if I've got I'm a remote estimator, right? I run a team of estimators, Xactimate estimators. if we get a new client comes in and they right out of the gate, they say, "Hey, we use Matterport. Can you use it?" I like fall over myself. Yes, absolutely. It makes our job so much easier. There's so much goodness coming out of Matterport on the documentation side, but it's just one portion of building the claim file where Encircle has really stepped it up. Really, really doing a lot of things well. So Bobby, yeah, pipe in on that if you want. Uh, yeah, I like Encircle. What else you want to talk about today? Um, yeah, this is okay. You don't need to see my LinkedIn feed, do you? No, you don't need to see that. Um, well, okay, let's talk about. I think I've got warmed up. Let's talk about Chat GPT. I created a GPT in Chat GPT that I'm calling Rebel Replies, and I'm designing it in a way. All right, Mr. Joe Spears says he's late, but he's coming. I hear you, Joe. I hear you. Um, he said he fell asleep. Okay, it's a long day. That's fair, man. I want to fall asleep right now. Fucking A. So I'm going to share this screen. I'm going to share this screen. Let's just go through it because the future is here, folks. AI is going to take over a lot of what we do on the day to day, whether we want it to or not. So we better just get used to it. We better get into it, get our hands dirty, and start playing. Let's start playing around. So here, man, get that queued up, and let's share the screen again. Let's do that one more time. Share my screen. Here we go. Yeah, I need a beer. Man, I need something. Drink some water, but mm. So first off, let me preface this. I designed this because I found myself some days all day, all I was doing was writing response letters to adjusters. That's all I was doing. And it was the same five stupid things. It was a we don't pay for OMP. We don't allow for supervision. Supervision's included in blah 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 blah. Cleanup is included. That's this guy's saying cleanup is included. And and damn it, Verisk, will you just get that taken care of for us? You know it's easy. Just change the description. This whole he's laying on he's relying on the line item description that says cleanup of the immediate area and saying that includes cleanup of the job site. And it just freaking doesn't, but we got to reply the same replies over and over and over again. So I said, you know what? There's probably a great use case here for AI. So I designed this GPT. And as with all things GPT, they get better with time. The more time you spend, the more feedback you give it, the better answers it gives. So, oh, Jay, you're making me jealous, bro. All right, enjoy that. Enjoy it. Uh, so let's play with it, shall we? I don't have anyone to riff off of here. It's kind of feel like I'm in a bubble, but let's play. Is that big enough? Looks big enough. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna pull over. Let's see here. What's a good? The StreamYard link is not letting me into the stream. Okay. Well, craptastic. Hold on, folks. Hold on. I'm just one guy. I'm going to copy that link, come over to Messenger, come over here, paste that link again, see if people can get in. Here you go, Mr. Larson. Oh. Try that on for size, Mr. Larson. Okay. So let's talk GPT. I'm going to find a line item here. And here's the reality is the nuance in there he is. There's Mr. Maui, the man, the myth. The nuance of some of the questions and some of the things you have to reply to, AI is not going to be able to answer. Right? There's still going to be a need for human interaction when you're responding to other humans. Let's just get that out here. But I'm going to pick one of these line items. Please provide the invoice for the digital hosting and sketch for this claim. No, I don't want to. Please provide the mandatory OSHA hazard assessment required to be filled out by the on-site supervisor. Let's try that. Let's try that. I'm gonna try these 2 lines. These 2 lines. I'm gonna just copy them from the email, and I'm gonna come over here. I heard somebody pop up. Wait, where'd they go? Okay. Oh, Abby, you need to go. You need it too? Everyone needs it? I put it in the stream, didn't I?
Some reason, like, for me, it doesn't show up in the stream.
Oh, well, it's not that stream. Okay, let me go to the stream. Freaking A. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm having a hell of a Wednesday. I'm just going to get that right out. Let's go to Rebels. Okay, find the
that was
stream.
because I wasn't here.
That's right. And now you're here? Oh, I just pasted the wrong thing. All right, come back here. Now you're here, Joe. My world is so much better. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
You could almost say, I complete you.
You complete me. I can't quit you, Joe. Wait a minute. Oh boy, that. Not all of you will catch that reference. Okay, invite.
You're getting old.
So old. Copy. I'm copying the StreamYard link. I'm posting it. There. It's in there. It's there. Trust me, Abby. Just look up from.
I just seen it now. It was on the post below the live stream. It shows. It
was the post below the live stream because I was trying to. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to get off of that page there. Okay. What was I doing? Oh yes, I was copying and pasting. We're going to try this out for a change. Copy this, and you can see this sort of. Hey. There's my favorite insurance agent in the whole entire world. Okay, so ChatGPT, it's all about the setup and context. The more context you give it, the better the reply. So I'm going to tell it, please reply to this adjuster's questions. And then I'm going to give it some context. Please search the web for OSHA rules regarding what'd he say? Hazard assessments. Okay. And then we'll just here, and I'll just say questions, paste. You see what I'm doing here? Everyone following along at home?
Yep.
Let's see what it says. Please, okay. So it's going to churn on a little bit. Now this is, if you see this screen up on the left-hand side, that's the Rebel Reply GPT, and you have to pay for ChatGPT in order to use it. But it's not going to be there automatically. You have to go to Explore GPTs and do a search for Rebel replies. Let's see here. Regarding those questions, OSHA's general requirements. Oh, it gave me even a number there. Sounds official. State that employers must assess workplace hazards that might require personal protective equipment. This includes conducting a hazard assessment and selecting appropriate PPE for each employee. I like that answer. Yes. Okay. Number 11. If the adjuster is requesting the invoice for digital hosting and the sketch for the claim, you should provide these documents if they are available. Oh, see, this is it's giving me guidance, but please reply on behalf of the contractor. Let's try that again. Because it's giving me advice and saying what I should say, but I want it to tell me what exactly to say. So we let it go again, and it's redoing that. Okay, now it's writing the letter as if it's writing to the adjuster, which is great. Can you guys read that? You can read that, right?
Internal safety documents. Yeah.
Oh, Abby! Hey! Milton! All right. Okay, it's a party. You know what? I feel better now.
We should all get there.
really down, and you guys just showed up. You're like my cheerleading squad. You guys showed up, and now
We
I'm
love
feeling
you,
shitty.
Andy and Joe.
Thank you. Awesome. Okay, now it's a great win.
And yes, Joe, it's because you weren't here.
That's right. It was. Okay, so this is what ChatGPT came up with. Regarding your request, the OSHA assessment, please note that our on-site supervisor conducts a thorough hazard assessment for each project in compliance with those. See, what it didn't do is it didn't give me that this number.
Maybe if you ask it to rewrite it with the OSHA.
Yeah, just go. Please cite the specific
answer as the contractor and cite where your information came from.
Yep. Please cite the specific OSHA regulation. And then let's read the other one. Concerning invoice, we ensure all billing is transparent and aligns with the services rendered. Please find the attached relevant invoice. No. We do not. We are not required to show adjusters our costs. Please rewrite. So obviously this is going to take some time. This is going to take some back and forth. But ultimately my goal is you put in the objection and it spits out a response that I don't have to spend a lot of time going back and forth with. But it's going to take some time. I'll pull back the curtain and show you the documents that I used to back up this thing. Okay, there's the OSHA requirement. Blah, blah, blah. Our policy and industry standards do not require us to disclose detailed cost breakdowns or internal pricing strategies to adjusters or insurance carriers. Our invoices reflect the total cost of services provided and are consistent with the industry norms and the level of service. I like that answer better.
Yeah.
Right? We ensure our billing is transparent and aligns with, yeah. But guess what? If you didn't like it, just hit reply, just regenerate it. It'll take another shot at it.
Nice.
So you have unlimited chances. Oh, look at that. Even line number 8. Oh, no, that was the line number that I fed it. Okay. Please. Ooh, I like that one. Flex the total. Yeah, okay. I think it was better. Should we try another one? You guys want to try another one?
Yeah, I got one.
Oh, you got one?
Not for an adjuster, but for a workers' comp auditor. When they ask you what it is that your employees' daily operations are, because if you don't say the wording exactly, then they're going to put the payroll in a different class code. So can I give it to you and you put it in there? So
you're always on this worker comps kick.
I know, because I'm trying to save your asses. You guys, you're getting so screwed. I just got a new one. We're now lead abatement. They moved it out of asbestos, and now they're putting it in the painting class code. So now they've just screwed everybody that used the painting class code with a higher rate because there's so much exposure to lead.
Okay.
Is it higher or less than asbestos?
Oh, it's well, so none of you guys do asbestos, so that's where you're all getting screwed. Well, a lot of you don't do asbestos. A lot of you do mold abatement. Mm-hmm. But in most of the states, they want to put the mold in asbestos because it's a higher class code. But now they figured out that lead, nobody does lead. So now they're going to put anyone that uses painting, lead is so dangerous. Now they're going to get more payroll out of you for lead. I mean, painting.
I think what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
every year, you guys, while you're figuring out what you're gonna do, every year you guys have to do a workers' comp audit at the end of your policy period, and you guys all make the fatal error when the auditor shows up and acts like they're your buddy, and they say, "Okay, so what did this guy do?" And so, if you could use this same software, and you could say, give me a reply that reflects the Bureau's description of the painting. That's what my guy does. Maybe not painting, but drywall. Not one where they're trying to screw you.
Please. Okay, so I just copy the entire email string because this adjuster is replying to a letter I wrote yesterday, which was replying to a letter he wrote the day before. So I'm just going to give ChatGPT all the context here. Please analyze the following email thread. Who are the main actors? How should Tanner respond? I can't type. Respond to the adjuster's latest email. And I'll put that here. You guys just close your eyes. You don't need to see any of that stuff. I'm sorry, Joshua, if you're watching. But you earned it, Joshua.
Sorry, Joshy.
The Hartford, you earned this. Every bit of it.
You little A+ rated carrier.
Tanner should respond to John's latest email by addressing each point raised with clear, concise justifications or revisions. Okay, well, please write the response email for Tanner. He will not remove items from his invoice. Let's see what it comes up with.
That's freaking amazing.
Thank you for your detail. Yes, that's strong.
Nice.
It doesn't get specific, but I wonder at what point, right? We addressed the adjuster's specific concerns with the first email. Now he's coming back and he did another line by line rebuttal. But at what point do we just stop the nonsense and go straight to something like this? I don't know. I think it's worth a shot.
I've always, what I've just been doing lately is I just put in my opening statement that Xactimate has been utilized to the best of our ability to account for all cost needed for this project to be completed, while the individual line items and or overhead and profit applied to this file might not be accurate independently. The overall price reflects a fair and honest evaluation of the cost needed for this project. Therefore, the removal of any line items will not reflect a price change of the total dollar amount.
Do you have that? Do you have that verbiage somewhere?
Like a disclaimer, almost like a disclaimer.
Do you have that somewhere?
Yeah, I have it.
Send it to me.
I will. Because
send it to me, and then guess what I'll do with it? I'm going to put it down here with all the other documents that are part of this GPT.
Because that's the thing is, like, people are always like, well, I mean, they want to harp on the scope of work, and I'm like, look, the scope of work. This is the scope of work. Like, do you agree with it or not? This is the price that I came up to based on that scope of work. Now, just because you don't like it saying that I responded to an emergency service during the business hours doesn't change the fact that this price is still $4,600. It just means you don't want to read that line item. So everything else will be increased to balance it out. So, I mean, putting that verbiage in there can kind of also, if you had to go to court and they're like, well, why'd you add 10 and 10 to it? And so can you show what your overhead and profit needs are? You can say, well, look, 10 and 10 is not necessarily my overhead and profit needs, but the final price did cover my overhead and profit needs.
Right. Okay. So when you're using this, it's taking everything and putting it back into the context. But I can also go in as a creator of this one. I can give it clear guidance. So I've already told it that it should find a quote from the knowledge database as many times as possible, but maybe it's just not picking that up. But we can go even from here. So we can say,
Andy,
Yes.
What level of chat GPT are you running?
The $20 a month.
Okay.
It's
curious.
just, I think it's they call it the Pro, I think.
Yeah, the plus.
Yeah, the plus.
The Plus. What should I say to an adjuster who tells me I used too much equipment?
Kiss my ass.
Kiss my hairy white ass.
Now, I'm assuming that the plus takes in consideration all your documents, because I know that the regular version only goes based on the last post.
Right, but that's when you're putting the documents into the chat itself. But this is the GPT, so this is the basis of a GPT.
You give it the source of the information.
As per industry standards, specifically referencing IRCRC S500 guidelines, the equipment selection and quantity are determined based on several key factors. Oh, come back up. These include the extended, the overall. In this particular case, briefly describe the specifics of the job. Okay, I can do that. Blah, blah. Given these factors, the equipment used was essential to achieve optimal drying conditions and to prevent secondary damage such as mold growth or structural deterioration. Wow, I like that letter.
That's
Mhm.
nice.
I assure you that our primary goal is to restore the property efficiently and effectively while adhering to the highest industry standards.
I love that.
That's great. So, I mean, that's ultimately, I want it to do all of that automatically. But here's another magic thing. If you're paying for, once again, you got to pay for it. If you pay for that level, you can, and I haven't tried this yet, so I'm trying it live. I have an adjuster telling me that my supervisor hours are not warranted. What should I say? But first, in order to add another line, I just hit Shift and return. Because if you just hit return, it'll send it and it'll start responding to it. I'm going to do @Rebel Replies. Look at that. So that's going to use Rebel Replies in its response. So you don't have to necessarily be in there as long as you... So you can call out these things in the top left are called GPTs. I'm trying to play with IFTTT to do some stuff. Video Maker, this is scary. Super scary.
You're wording your question wrong. Go back up there and copy your question again.
Okay.
And reword it to say, I have an adjuster telling me that my supervisor hours are not warranted. Please write me an email response.
Yeah.
Okay.
That supports it. Like
Right.
you need to tell it that you want it to respond or write a professional response explaining why I needed it or why I need them, or that they are warranted.
Supports
that supports the need for supervisor hours.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, if you didn't know, you can tell it to say like respond professionally, or you can say make it more friendly, or make it more,
or
whatever.
make it snarky as fuck. Yeah. Oh, let's just try that. Let's do that just
Tell
for
it to
fun.
respond like Yoda.
David Garcia, welcome to the party. It's a party now. We got a lot of people here. Okay. Man, it went deep into supervision.
Wow.
But it didn't reference the OSHA.
Well, maybe it will.
It's still going.
I mean, you're on 8.
She's on a freaking tear right now. Okay. Wow. Okay. Please
rephrase or respond or
OSHA.
respond to as like Yoda or
Documents.
somebody.
Be sarcastic
and cite your source.
Cite your source. Yes. Okay. Whoa. Cite your sources.
Cite, GHT.
No, that's Vision Site. Site, CITE
Oh,
is
site.
site, like
Oh, my
reference.
You see, it says it's reading documents. It means it's reading the documents that I uploaded to the GPT.
Oh my god.
Oh, it didn't find any OSHA doc. Oh, because I don't have any OSHA documents.
I
Oh
got
yeah,
Alright.
you did it in a regular.
Someone
Oh,
needs.
that's
I need to
right,
do
no.
it in the regular one. You're right.
Let it read what it started.
We
to
need
write.
it. Yeah, I want to finish hearing what it said. I'm so
Says-
upset right now.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Oh, the first one. I trust this email finds you in good health and spirits. Perhaps even enjoying the challenge of scrutinizing our project invoices with the keen eye of an eagle scouting its prey.
It said what we all wanted to say.
Today, I'd like to embark on a delightful educational.
Wait,
Oh,
Eagle
I want to
Scout.
continue.
Yeah, we have-
Continue. Okay, hold on a second.
An Eagle Scout sighting its
Okay.
prey.
Just ask the question again. Just copy.
Rewrite with as much sarcasm
As
I'm
professionally
you.
possible.
Professionally allowed.
Is that
Or
right?
as sarcastic as
Possible.
possible, but keep it professional.
But pretend to be professional.
Now you're going to confuse her.
Oh man.
But be condescending.
Oh, that's the next one. That's the next one. I'd say based on my experience, as adjuster performing the work and how much is needed, reply, I think we all.
He's responding to your previous question. You need to
Oh.
scroll up and copy that original question.
Wow, kind of a bash on Montana.
Yeah, I agree. It's $20 a month. As soon as I could pay for this, I paid for it. It's
You
just
see, in the fantastical realm of OSHA, there exists this avant-garde notion that maintaining
Wait a
a
minute.
safe and efficient work site is somewhat
somewhat
important.
Listen,
I
we
know.
have a thrilling adventure in the world of project
Supervisors, bless their souls, are the champions of this cause.
I really almost want to try one of these on like a real thing and see what spots I get.
They ensure that our projects don't transform into a modern day rendition of Dante's Inferno, a place where safety violations and project inefficiencies dance in a fiery tango.
God.
Okay,
At
that
least
was
it's gonna make work fun again.
That was
Make
worth it.
work fun again.
and if I didn't run a team and work for run a business, and if it was just me, I would write one of these letters. I would send one of these
What are
letters.
you talking about? I'd write it just for the hell of it because he pissed me off
Right?
too much.
What are they gonna do? They're not even gonna know how to respond.
In conclusion, while I appreciate the astute observation that
They'll probably
supervisor
laugh.
hours are an unnecessary luxury on par with gold-plated hammers and diamond-studded drills, I must respectfully disagree. These hours are the very thread holding the delicate tapestry of our projects together. I hope this enlightens your perspective and allows us to continue on our harmonious collaboration. Yeah.
I like the part where it says a beautiful restored property that doesn't require us to sell our kidneys to finance it.
Okay.
Dude,
That's
this can be like a skit now.
Joe, this is
so good.
funny.
It's so good.
So good.
Welcome to ChatGPT, people.
Okay, I'm hooked.
I'm so gonna invest into this just to be able to play around with it when I'm bored.
Just so I can
Oh.
reply like that.
And
Well,
maybe do
Best
the one-
$20 ever.
Oh, best $20 ever. There is no doubt in my mind. Hold on, let me come back. Let me show you something else. Let's just come here. That's fine. I did this. Hold on a second. I did this here. I was trying to find trying to create a logo for It's for my friends over at Kauai.
Oh, the
And
premiere.
so I said, please create a square logo. The design elements should include water, fire, and yellow hibiscus flower. Robert, did you know that the yellow hibiscus is the state flower of Hawaii?
You just got there. Didn't know that.
Wait a minute. So the plus version also does images and all that?
Yes, DALL-E is built in.
Nice.
And so
That
I
just
iterated
reminded
and
me of that
iterated,
scene.
iterated
Andy
and
just reminded me
iterated.
Andy, you just reminded me of that scene in Forgetting Sarah Marshall where they're like, what's the state fish? Or what is it? Kalai, bitch, yeah.
So it can in some of the memes you guys have seen came out of this. The meme about let's create a meme right here. What do you want? To describe something. Come on. Now I'm asking you to be creative.
Adjuster with no teeth.
No.
Design me a logo.
An adjuster
of
with
a person
T-Rex
transforming.
arms. An adjuster with T-Rex arms.
Okay. Please create a cartoon in the style of
T-Rex.
The Far Side, showing an insurance adjuster with short T-Rex arms talking to an adjuster. Contractor. Let's see what it says.
Kidding, it's gonna do that.
Well,
It's
that's
gonna do
loaded. Hey, Andy, how big are the files you can put in there?
I mean, I've
I
uploaded like
I
every
didn't see a
S500.
limit.
Yeah,
I didn't
like,
see a limit.
I've uploaded every S500 into mine, plus the all the international building codes in the residential building code books.
Wow.
Wow.
But no, the adjuster's not a T-Rex, but maybe he is.
Insurance adjuster, it is.
Wait, he's wearing a contractor hat. No,
Well, because he's on the job site. He's trying to be legit.
but let's just regenerate that. Let's try again. Try again. Chat. Try again.
Remove
The
hard
adjuster,
hat.
you should have wrote the adjuster's talking to the contractor.
Mm-hmm. That's what it looked like.
Oh, I'm definitely paying for this. I'm gonna make so many.
Oh my god, I cannot wait.
Every
to see
line item in his Exactamate's going to have a little picture icon that he pulled from ChatGPT. Please show me a picture of you removing baseboard. Here you go.
Yeah.
I love that he has hinges on his mouth, like it's like his bottom jaw is just.
What is that?
Is that suspenders on his face?
Huh.
He's wearing a headset.
Well, I did. I tried to have it come up with.
He's
Here,
tacky.
it came up with. Oh no, it's not loading.
It's confused.
I asked it for 2 folders, one stuffed with money, and I wanted the folders to say QC Exactmate estimate because quick check, and it took some doing, but some of these were not bad.
That's cool.
Like QC Exactmate estimate, it almost spelled it right. Right, it's getting so good with words.
Wow.
But if you can describe it well enough, it can do it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Can you upload pictures and have it like place his face on a meme you describe?
I do that. I do that in Midjourney. I do that somewhere else. I don't know if I haven't played around enough with DALL-E to know, but I do that in Midjourney, which is based on Discord.
Dude, you just gave me endless amount of.
I'm not going to go to
procrastination
sleep
time.
tonight. Yeah, I'm not going to sleep. You're going to be my new Facebook.
Yeah, I just wasted your entire afternoon tomorrow because that's what you're going to be doing. Brain dead State Farm adjuster. Okay. Woof.
You got requests.
He asked for it. He asked for it right there.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Please create a cartoon of a. Let's just go right straight for it. Brain dead. State Farm adjuster.
Is it going to be like a gecko?
Oh. Oh.
Hey.
Yeah, it doesn't like dead. It's some things you type in, it says, nope, I'm not going to do it because I don't know.
A
It's trying to
low
be
IQ
PC.
State Farm.
Oh, low
adjuster.
IQ.
Low IQ. There you go.
Create a cartoon of a low IQ
Or shallow brain.
Shallow brain.
What?
It's gonna,
All right. Why?
Try shallow brain.
it's gonna pop a picture of Joe Biden.
Will it do real people? Let's see. Make a picture of Joe Biden. It's creating it. It's going. Oh, you're not seeing this. Sorry. I thought you were still seeing it. Here we go.
Hey, Andy, so what do you think is the, and you may not be able to answer it because I don't think anybody really knows, but like right now, you know, some people that use Chat GPT, I'm sure insurance companies are definitely starting to unfold it. Some, you know, restoration companies, contractors are, but what is going to be the end all be all of these two computers battling against each other? Like, how is that going to play out? Because they're going to reply with chat with AI. We're going to reply with AI, and it's literally going to be battling back and forth between each other for the nth degree. And who's going to make that final determination as to who's going to do what?
I think the court does. Honestly, I think it all ends up in a lawsuit. You know, all this is just, all we're doing here is a prelude to appraisal and prelude to a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Or somebody's going to blink.
Right.
Right. My goal for now, until we reach that point, there's still going to be a human on the other side of this thing. My goal is to just make their life miserable with, because the adjusters have to respond to all written correspondence within a certain amount of time, depending on the state. So they have to respond. So I'm going to give them a shit ton of stuff to respond to, and I'm just going to bury them in paperwork. And they're going to, my goal is to wear them down, right? But that's also their goal. I just think I can be better at it.
And they've been doing it longer than you have.
I think the AI versus AI is just going to fast track the argument because certain documents are just not all conclusive, and they're just going to read.
And that's a good point here. You have to reply with facts, right? You can't just use rhetoric and try to win an argument.
But it's also going to boil down to who can better word the response they want. Unless you're just carbon copying and saying, give me a good response to this email, not providing any additional information.
Right.
The more fluently you can ask your question with the best or with the more detail, the better the GPT will work for you.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. All right. Are we done? Are we done playing? Are we done there?
So much fun.
That was so fun. That was good.
So fun. Thanks, Andy.
He says, ask legit questions is all I care about. Formulate your questions within the policy. Bury them in, I think, in 100% accuracy. Accurate? 100. Wow. Well, I had a client on the phone today.
Can you get like policies like uploaded into your chat GPT?
I've done that. And you ask it specific questions about the policy.
But if you're not a public adjuster, you can't speak to policy.
That's true. That's true.
That's what I was. That's what I was about
for your
to say.
knowledge is great.
Well, but that's what I was about to say. Is I had a client on the phone today that I have some language in my standard Exactimates that references policies or at least gives guidance, ancillary guidance to homeowners, and they said we don't want that. We don't want any of that. because in Alabama, it's serious, and the only way you can have a PA on a job in Alabama, I guess, is from an attorney, right? It's an anti-PA state, and they will hammer contractors for even coming up to the line there. So he said all that language, while we agree with you, Andy, but we don't want any of that stuff in our estimates. And we're like, okay, I understand. If you have an assignment of benefits, can you still not? You can. I think you can with an assignment of benefits. But not all states have AOBs. And I don't think Alabama has AOBs.
And not all insurance companies accept AOBs anymore.
Well, yeah, in Oregon, I know Safeco for sure is just like, fuck you. That's a nice AOB. Fuck you.
I thought that's beyond their power to refute an AOB. It's allowed in the state. If it's allowed in the state, who are they to say that they're not gonna?
They can ignore it.
Didn't Florida just come up with something where you can't have an AOB and a PA on the same claim?
I don't know. I thought Florida got rid of AOBs altogether.
I think you can still have an AOB. You just can't have both on the same claim.
Yeah. Being a PA right now is really hard. It's super hard.
For everybody on the call, I'm an adjuster.
That one added too.
I'm not actually an adjuster. I'm a re-inspector, so it's a little different. I'd rather see people get paid what they're owed.
Yeah,
Are you a spy?
Re-inspector is a different deal.
No, I'm not a spy. Drew messaged. He said something when he started the show about, people that were contractors back in this day and age say that, they know all this. I was a contractor from 2000 to 2016. I got into it because I really care about people.
Well, they're making that hard now, aren't they?
A little bit, but what the hardest part is the training for the adjusters. I think like trade schools and shit like that, they don't put enough emphasis on what you're supposed to learn. These adjusters don't know anything about the IICRC or drying standards. And like I tried to say in the other chat, I thought that Xactimate was supposed to be changing their prices because you can't get an XLR DU in a medium size. Well, from Phoenix you can, but who the hell buys Phoenix?
No, you can't. You can't buy a commercial grade dehumidifier that only does 33 pints a day. You can't.
Yeah,
no,
it's
what 665 and above now.
The lowest commercial grade dehumidifier only does 65 ppds, and there's only one of them on the market.
That's what I thought.
Therefore, you cannot charge a regular size DH on any file whatsoever. You have to charge at least a large.
Yeah, but I don't even. I mean, that's a false flag. That's the other thing I love about ChatGPT.
I do know. I can't tell you the carrier that I work for, but I do know that there is discussions of letting large charges go through instead of regular because of that reason.
Well, and
I don't give a fuck what the adjuster lets through.
What is large?
Because I am the professional. Yeah, I'm the professional on the job site. I get final say on what equipment I put on that job site and how I dry that structure.
But as it does come with a grain of salt, Andy, because you can't throw on there 3 extra large dehumidifiers when you're drying just an 8x5 bathroom.
Exactly.
Well, you shouldn't.
But
here's my response to that. If contractors are doing that, they should be reported for fraud and prosecuted. Period.
Exactly. And that's what I want to bring to this table is responsible
for the shitheads, because
I hear I hear all of y'all's points and I agree with them wholeheartedly. But at the same time, there's so many contractors that are abusing things, and that's what's making the policies go up, and that's
No,
why insurance companies are
no,
being such dicks.
no,
No.
that's just not true. It's
Not
just
in
not
this
true.
industry.
Adam, I'm sorry. I apologize ahead of time. I apologize. Bye.
Well,
I cannot stand for it. I'm not going to let anyone come in here and feed this group or anyone else full of the bullshit. That is not the case. Do you know PNC carriers, the annual premiums for PNC carriers, $2.1 fucking trillion. You can't tell me that people are using too big of dehumidifiers. That's why the premiums are going up. No, the premiums are going up because we have greedy motherfuckers in charge of everything. And we have legislations that are bought and paid for by the carriers. They own the carriers, or the carriers own the legislators. They own
Yes.
Florida. That's what's
Yes.
wrong with this.
Yes.
It's not
And
the bad
why-
actors. It's not the bad contractor
No.
taking advantage of the situation. Fuck that. Adam. I'm sorry, man. You're catching my fucking emotions about all of this because
Even like you hate I say it, workers' comp, but the bureau that dictates what class codes we have to use and what the base rates are, that bureau is owned by the insurance companies and funded by the insurance companies.
So yeah, you can't tell me, we had a bad hurricane year one year, $250 billion in losses, premiums are going up. No, you took in $2 trillion in premiums. I don't feel sorry for your heavy loss years, because guess what? Coming into COVID, the worst. What was that big hurricane? What did the CEO Chubb said? The biggest hurricane that ever made landfall. This is going to be an earnings event for us. Period. No, I just won't. I can't abide. I can't abide. This is not our fault. This is not a bad actor situation causing the problems. No, the contractors are trying to defend the homeowners. The homeowners don't know what the fuck is going on. The carriers take advantage every single day.
I agree completely. I think they're the number of people that are trying to screw over, that are that you always see on the news and everything. They represent a very minute quadrant of our industry.
It's not even a fucking rounding error.
Yeah, but it doesn't affect the day-to-day operations. It's like the gentleman was saying about, these adjusters don't know stuff. It is in the carrier's best interest not to hire people like us
that know anything,
to be adjusters, because we're going to know the true value. They give you a week of training on Xactimate and say, go at it. And it is in their interest that you are, you have the mentality. My estimate is the correct estimate. Yours is wrong. And you don't know any better. So you're fighting that argument, and it's saving them money hand over fist.
They're like round shirts. They're indignant about it. They don't know any different. They're being told to go there and they don't even know they're playing dumb.
I'm not blaming adjusters. So Adam, once again, I'm sorry. I'm not blaming adjusters, but the adjusters they don't know anything. They only know what they're told. And the carriers, they know. The carriers know. So shame on them, right? But just because the adjuster isn't necessarily complicit in that, they're still a part of the problem, because they're doing it, right?
It's more of an integrity issue than anything, because I'm just following our carrier guidelines. I mean, I don't know how many times I've heard adjusters even straight tell me on the phone or in an email, I agree with you, but it's against our guidelines.
It's our guidelines. But
well,
can
okay,
I get a copy of those guidelines? Fuck
well,
no.
that's the thing is, can you tell me? Okay, well, you understand that I need to do X, Y, and Z to do this job, and it should cost $10,000. But because your carrier guidelines say, oh, we don't pay for Y, you're expecting me to still do this job and get it done, but I'm only going to get $8,000 for it. That's not how it works. It costs what it costs.
Unless you can reference the policy provision that has those guidelines in it, unless you can reference the state statute that has that guideline in it, I don't give a fuck about your goddamn guidelines. You can't show them to me. I can't read them. I'm supposed to take your word for it. No, sir. Mm-mm.
I've had an adjuster tell me, I'm not paying for, he shorted the customer $3,000. I'm not paying for this. I'm not paying for this. Okay, well, why? Well, because it's not warranted. Okay, why? Well, because it's not warranted. Okay, why? He has no idea. He has
No
no
clue.
idea how to answer my question. He has no idea how to back up his statements. All
No.
he's doing is because it threw a little red flag on his computer and he's not paying for it. And it's bullshit.
Yep.
And
It's
it works too.
It does work. It does work.
People
The
fall all
whole,
the time.
the whole.
That's
Well,
why
if
they
you
say it.
use that vendor, we can't guarantee we're going to cover your whole loss.
Yep, that's exactly what we tell
Fucking
him.
lies. Whew.
But,
Well,
hey, they got to toe a line for salary. It's fine. They do their part.
Yeah, you tell lies for a living. Doesn't
Now
matter.
that I got the two Xactimate experts that I know personally, this is something I've been thinking about doing. Writing my estimate in Xactimate, exporting to Excel, and changing the descriptions.
Why not?
I change
Why
the
not?
descriptions every day in Xactimate. I don't care.
There's no rule against that.
I'll let you
So it
guys
doesn't
know.
even look like an Xactimate file, and
Oh.
say when they try to rebuttal, I'm sorry, I don't use that program.
Yeah, I mean I know a lot of people that do that there. I mean,
Well,
I'll
that's-
tell you guys right now. Like for me, like I just looked at our numbers for the past 13 weeks and all. I mean, I'm averaging right now. Or I got us all estimating averaging $8,800 a mitigation claim, and our negotiation give back rates are 9.12%. We all know that you're always going to have some concessions, but I mean, guys, like it's
9%.
not, less than. I mean, I feel as long as you're taking less than 12% off your file, you're doing pretty damn good on your estimates, guys. Like it's not hard to back up to write an Xactimate. I use default price list. I change labor codes. I change component pricing. I change supporting events all day long.
Well, you're not using the price list at that point. Am I right?
No, I'm using the default price allotments for these items. I'm properly applying their pricing structure within the components and needs as the program depends on. So like, hey, everybody's a CLNR technician because this is a water restoration job and we have one trade out here. That's not changing any price. That's changing the trade allotment and letting the default price give me the price. Hey, this job was an hour and a half away. That's a 2 hour or 3 hour round trip. I have to add to my support event. That doesn't change the price. It doesn't change the from a default price list. That's just that's like saying yes, I am going to deduct the doors, or no, I'm not going to deduct the doors. Like
And
that's
that
all
labor trade change goes on both sides of the fence. It doesn't benefit us all the time because sometimes you're changing the labor trade according to who did it, and it's going to drop the price. I pitched that to an unnamed carrier and told them, "Listen, hey, I'm just doing the way the program is meant to have been worked, and it works on both sides of the fence because on this action it drops the price. On this action, it happens to raise the price." And they were like mind blown. They had no idea.
You guys are doing like if you're doing a water mitigation and you do remove light, it's demo, the price will go up because it's CLNR. But if you do detach and reset light at 0.5, the trades by default is going to be electrician. So when you change the CLNR, the price goes down. You're showing integrity by making sure you're applying everything correctly, but that's not affecting the mathematical calculation price line of the item. It's applying the settings correctly. And you can make money hand over fist. The problem is the vast majority of people are using a software that has no regulation internally from the makers of it. Like, I'm sorry, I mean, I love every XCT I know, but the fact that you can just any geek off the street can just I'm going to pay for it and I can use the program and run wild with it with no training is ridiculous to me. But you have a bunch of people that are using Xactimate and they think they know what they're doing, but I mean, just from the people that I know from Rebels here, the amount of people that I show stuff on and some of these, posts and groups and stuff really makes you realize that for the most part, it's like getting a roll, or most people buy a roll of cookie dough, the Pillsbury cookie dough, and they cut it up and they put it in the oven. They say, "Hey, look, I made cookies." That doesn't make you a baker, and that's what most people are. They're making cookies at home. Whereas, like, I have taken the time. If you take the time to invest in it, you learn. Oh yeah, well that's a good cookie. But if I make it homemade, guess what? It's gonna be a lot better cookie.
That's
And
actually a pretty good analogy.
you know,
So, but let's not forget the whole premise. The assumption being made is that Xactimate is some sort of standard. Xactimate has been adopted as a standard when it hasn't. The only reason we use Xactimate is out of a courtesy to the adjusters and the insurance carriers on the other side of the claim, so we can make apples to apples comparisons. That's the only reason we use Xactimate. Xactimate's not the best estimating software. It's just the one a lot of people use. But don't forget, it has not been accepted. It's not mandated. It's not named in any insurance policies. It's just this tool that we have raised above its importance. We have put Xactimate on a pedestal that doesn't belong on. It belongs in the toolbox, not on the stage. And we have the tail wagging the dog when we have adjusters trying to use Xactimate against us, when we don't even have to use that program. There's no rules from anywhere that says this is the proper way to use Xactimate and this is the improper way to use Xactimate.
The biggest reason why, the only reason why all contractors are using Xactimate are two reasons. One, it's the easiest program to actually get a valuation for your project on.
Dead simple. Yep.
And two, because they have no fucking clue without Xactimate what the price should actually be. And
right. Most of them don't. I would argue that.
And so that's why we use the program. But this mentality that, I have to use default price. No, it's not the perfect system. But
it's not perfect.
The best way to bill is time and material, in my opinion. That's the best one to bill with. But there's a lot. On a commercial aspect, great. On a residential, it's a more often than not, it's a hindrance to us because most people don't understand just how giving and how nice Xactimate is to them when it comes to billing. Because if you ever write a file up and you go to the labor summary at the end and you see how many hours Xactimate says it should take you to do this job, and you divide it by 8 hours and divide it by how many crew people you had, I guarantee you that I would honestly say probably 95% of people are getting probably at least 30 to 60% more, have more hours in the file than it actually took to complete the job.
Sure.
And that's why when they say, hey, why can't we have overhead and profit added to our files? I say, because you see how you have double the amount of hours? That's your overhead and profit built in. There you go. And people just, and Milton, you're one of the great examples. When we first started, you didn't know anything about Xactimate. And now you're schooling the TPAs on it, and you're getting success in most situations.
Yeah, but I just don't like arguing under the false premise that we're actually using a standard when we're not. S500 doesn't mention Xactimate.
I feel like in a perfect world where the carriers did what they had to do and the contractor did what they had to do, which is service our mutual client, and we were all acting in the best interest of the client, yes, Xactimate would be amazing because it's speaking the same language. We're talking, but no, there's this greedy little thing where it's like a little green monster that it's called greed, and they just give me. It's a for-profit organization. It'll never, until it gets regulated and mandated correctly, it'll never work.
Well, until there's regulation, real regulation and oversight at the state level, and I would prefer the federal level. Until that happens and exists, and carriers fight that, if carriers going to fight that super hard. Until there's proper oversight, this is still going to be, we're going to just lobbing shit turds over the wall at each other, and just seeing it's a game of attrition, and my game is I want to make the adjuster give up first and just give in. That's what makes that aspect of this industry makes this a miserable industry. There's a lot of good things, but that aspect makes it really hard.
I will tell you guys though, I did meet a contractor this week who made me laugh so much. So they tell me when I go to a job and all the homeowners freaking out and stuff, I say, well, I can't start a job without giving you a price. And so I'm going to base it on an average of a 4-day dry out. And he'll take the time to measure the whole thing out, and he'll do the exact make right then and there while the water's still all wet and squishy. And then he'll say, this is based on 4 days. As long as it doesn't exceed, this is your price. Done. He's like, I mean, that they're willing to wait for that. And when the adjuster comes back and says, I'm not paying this bill, this is too much, blah, blah, he goes, well, then I guess you should have educated your client to pick a contractor that's better in your park range of pricing, because they full well knew before I even started what my price was. And they went ahead and had me start. So
it's a valid contract.
Instead of doing the whole guessing, or giving a ballpark range, he takes the full time. He's like, I know this wall is an exterior. We're going to have to pull the dry, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's not hard to do an estimate and just base it on a 4-day dry and say, this is how much it is for up to a 4-day dry out, and then tell the adjuster. They knew starting off that this was going to end up being $12,556.32. If you don't like the price, then you should have a conversation with your policyholder about.
Here's the other side of that is, David, are you having trouble getting in, Mr. Garcia? Did you?
No, I'm just I had a call. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. The reality is, the insurance companies of the world are the best actuaries. They know what a loss is worth when it happens. It takes very little data for them to understand what their total exposure is. The reason they know that is because they have all the data. And then the game becomes, okay, they know what it's worth. Then the game becomes, how little are we going to be able to pay out to make this claim go away? That's the game. And that's what goes into all of the things they do to pressure their clients to use their preferred vendors, to all this nonsense we have to deal with on the back and forth in the emails. That's all designed to do one thing: reduce claim severity. But don't be fooled. Don't let them lie to you. They know what the claim is worth. They have all the data. What is Verisk? Verisk is a data analytics company that happens to own Xactimate, right? They're a data first company. They understand what things are worth. So, yeah, we just need more people to understand at a base level. This is the game. The game is not what I can justify or what is really warranted. That's a false flag, right? Making us justify our actions, that's a false flag. We don't have to justify shit. The game is, how much energy are you willing to put in? How long are you going to stay in the fight before you throw up your hands and say, okay, I guess I'll take your 75 cents on the dollar offer.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, and it heavy.
Well, and I mean, that's at the end of the day, this is, what bothers me the most in everything working with contractors every day is the simple fact is most contractors do not know what their overhead needs are. They don't know what their break-even number on the actual project is, or anything whatsoever, and they still push us to fight and argue it. And yet, oh no, this is enough. I know it's not enough. Well, how do you? Well, because I've done jobs like this here. It needs to be more. It needs to be more. And it's like, that is what one of the biggest hurdles in this industry overall has always been, is that we have to be able to defend our files and back it up. But most contractors have never had to go to court. They've never had to had their books opened and actually validate their files. They've been lucky. And until you do that, you're never going to realize just how much you don't realize about your own company. And that's where they bet on it. Like, oh, well, they came in at 9,000, but they already know that we're going to take some stuff off, so we know we'll get a little bit of a discount and everything. If you are good, if you are properly documented, if you're covering your ass, if you're providing strong argument stuff, there is no wiggle room. Like I wrote many I wrote many bills where, like, hell, I've had Ward Law call me before and say, Joe, you're one of the more favorite people I have to look forward to talking to, because when I talk to you, I know that you already know the answer to the question as soon as I ask it. You're not going to hem-haul around about it. And overall, most of everything you put in here is going to be a valid charge. And if there's something you disagree with, you usually have a very well-rounded reasoning on why it's valid that I can take back to my bosses. And you're not just getting offended and being like, oh, well, this just because it is my bill. Like, I can back up anything I put on a file with the proper wordage, the language, whatever I
Sure.
need to. And that's where I think a lot of people, I mean, it sucks. Rebels, guys, there's more rebels than there are RIA members, which we always talk about. But you have to remember, though, on average, we represent less than probably less than 10% of the overall industry. I mean, you guys.
Well, if you say there's 55,000, it depends on whose numbers you use. 55,000 restoration contractors, and we're knocking on the door 10,000 members. So, what is that?
A fifth.
A fifth.
I mean, guys, like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's not that it's, if you are a part watching this video, I'm not preaching to you. I'm preaching to everybody else that doesn't watch these videos, because you actually care enough about your career, about your business, about your industry, that you have taken the time to join a group, to be involved, to look for guidance. And that step there, you are already 100 steps away. And it's all of us as a group fighting the flow of water against all the other people who could give a fuck less, that are eating out the gate. They check out and they don't quit. They're just like, it's good enough. I had a contractor this week straight tell me, because I was talking about, setting equipment and doing asbestos testing. He goes, I'm not going to do that. My clients will just find somebody else. And I was like, well, it's part of the standard of care. He's like, I know what the S500 says, and the rules are made to be broken. And I'm going to do what I think is best for my clients. And that's what he does. And I'm like,
and hopefully you guys didn't take on that client.
It's the first client I've ever said I have concerns about, but he's also showing a real big interest in learning what he's doing wrong. So
sure. Okay.
I'm giving him a chance. But there's a lot of contractors out there, guys, who they think they know their shit, and they are completely just smoke showing themselves and have no clue what the hell's going on.
I was in a deposition this week with an adjuster. I'm sorry, a contractor, a restoration contractor, and they've been around for a long time. But when he was asked the question, what were your costs on this job? This restoration contractor was suing the homeowner for something like $500,000. But repeatedly he was asked, what are your costs on this job? And repeatedly he would bring up the Xactimate estimate and say, my costs are this, $150,000. No, those aren't your costs. That's your estimate. And if you're any good as a contractor, your estimate's going to be higher than your costs, because guess what? That's what it means to be in business as a contractor. But he couldn't get out of his head that his costs were something other than this Xactimate document. And that just goes to your point, Joe.
That's very scary. That's very scary.
Well, and then, and that's the thing, is most people don't understand I mean, especially with Xactimate, because obviously that's my expertise. Like, if you hang up drywall by default, it's like 120 square feet the direct yield is 120, which means that you're doing 120 square feet of drywall per hour. And you can do that all day long vertically, but you can't do that horizontally. And the vast majority of people,
you got that reversed.
Vertically, you can hang it up on the walls vertically, but you can't hang it up horizontally.
Oh, okay. I get you.
But you can't hang it on the ceiling at the same rate.
No, at the same rate.
And so many people are like, oh, hey, drywall half-inch negative WC. And it's like, no, you can't do that. That's not how it works. And then on the flip side, there's people out there that don't understand that the line items are actually taken in. They understand that it includes labor or materials, but they don't understand or comprehend that it's giving me an hour basis, but that it's translating it into a square footage amount, because they'll be like, well, this hardwood floor was glued down and it took us a lot more hours, and I should, and what should I do? And you get people saying, oh, just add some extra hours to it. Just do an F9, the WTR labor extra hour for like 3 or 4 hours. But if you look at the direct yield of the line item, it's saying you're taking out like 14 square feet an hour in Xactimate by default. And I guarantee you, if you actually figured out how many hours your guys were out there, they were probably moving at a much higher rate
Much
than
higher
that.
rate.
So
Yes.
there is absolutely no need for you to add those additional hours in. And that disconnect is what causes the most problems with people, is because they think they
I
need to
agree.
add more hours to it, and they don't, or
I
they
agree.
don't realize what all the calculation is accounting for. Like, if you guys actually want to look at something interesting, look at your direct yields. Look at how many linear feet of baseboard it says you can take off in an hour. Look at how many square feet of drywall it says. I guarantee everybody, if I mean, I hate being that kind of the guy on the other side of the fence and sounding in this argument. If you actually look at the actual amount of hours it takes to do the job for your water techs, based on, and then look at how many hours Xactimate's going to give you, you're always going to be overestimating. And which, I mean, that's fine. That's how we make that's because they don't want us to do the overhead
That's how you make the money, because you do it. You are more efficient than what you estimate for, and that's how you make money as a contractor. Period. End of story.
Hey, I think this is going to take 8 hours. It's $1,000 for my 8 hours worth of work. If I get done sooner, it's still $1,000. I just made more of a hour per basis than before. But it does. If it takes me 9 hours,
Adam shaking his head off screen here. So, okay. So if it takes me less time, I should charge less than what I estimated. Is that what I'm? Sorry.
I know you're fine, but I mean, it's indicative. I mean, it's a symptom of a bigger problem, and that is that a lot of contractors, and I mean, no offense when I say this, I've said it many times, are blue collar guys who started off working, hanging drywall or cleaning carpets, and they've grown slowly and surely into it. And the only reference point they have on what they need is this program Xactimate. And
that's right.
They don't go, they've never been to business school to learn their numbers. That's why whenever we harp about, you need to know your overhead, I'd say less than probably 5% of all contractors out there truly know. I mean, and usually it's the boss. Usually it's the owner who's not writing the estimates. And you ever try to ask for detailed financial information? Hey, boss, what is our overhead needs and everything? They don't want to share that information with their lowly workers. So it's one of those biggest issues is you're already working at a handicap, but if you invest and you do it right, you guys, every single person here can be making tons of money.
There's money to be made.
It's just everybody needs to slow down.
Yeah.
Cross your T's, dot your I's, document correctly, validate it. If you're going to miss Saturday and Sunday for monitoring, it's a good idea that probably don't pull it on Monday. Or if you're going to miss Saturday, Sunday, don't find something wet on Monday, because if you pull it on Monday, the adjuster is going to come back and say, well, how did I know it wasn't dry on Saturday or Sunday? Why should I be paid for 5 days when you have no justification?
I'm going to tell that adjuster, well, where were you on Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
But and that's fine, but it covers your butt.
Jen. It took you a second. You got it though.
Yeah.
But it covers your butt if your homeowner's not available, get them to sign a form that says I'm not available. I've had so many adjusters that call and say, or have called my clients in the past and said, hey, were you really unavailable, or did they tell you to say that, or that you were did they tell you they would just come back on Monday? Yeah. I've had contract adjusters numerous times call homeowners and say, were you really unavailable for monitoring over the weekend, or did the service provider just tell you they'd be back on Monday? Like, it's stuff like this here. Like, if you're covering your butt, if you're documenting, photographing, like, it's not that hard to get paid. Everybody has to slow down. The workers have to slow down and do their stuff. And, the bosses need to take the time to review the paperwork and actually effectively grade their employees and say, hey, you are providing paperwork every time. Knowing how often your water techs end up missing a piece of information that you needed probably on a job.
All the time. Yeah. Details matter.
and you say that because you're triggering me, Joe. Because I was blowing up your phone 2 days ago to vent. I needed to just let it out because I wanted to lose my mind.
You know,
Yeah.
and it is.
So,
I mean,
here's the
if
deal: that we can never expect our employees to care as much as we do,
If
because
not,
guess what?
they would be owners.
Well, they'd be owners. They would. We care so much because it's our money at the end of the day. They don't care because it's not their money, right? They're working for $20 an hour. They're not working for the net profit. So if we want them to care, if we want them to pick up those dollars and pick up those details, we should incentivize them to do so. And that's where profit sharing is a powerful tool. If you educate your guys, hey, you missed the monitoring on this day and it cost us $500. And guess what? Your profit sharing is less $500 now because you missed that. That is a more powerful way to get guys to do the right thing than it is just to beat them over the head. You dummy, right?
And if you're doing profit sharing, guys, don't do one annual at the end of the year profit sharing.
No.
Bullshit,
It's got to be monthly
you got to
or
do it either
per job.
I was going to ask, what's a good recommendation? Quarterly, monthly?
I like the systems that I've seen work really well were per job. Every job had, they tracked their cost really good, but every job had a gross profit. And if you made that gross profit, because we're not going to hold the water damage technician responsible for the overhead of the business. So it's gross profit per job. If it was above a certain percentage, you got a percentage of the overage of that. And I wasn't afraid to write a check on a mitigation to a water damage technician who did a good job, brought it in proprofitably. I'd write him a $500 check that week. Easy.
So what are you
I'll write
saying,
that.
like
Commission checks are the easiest checks to write.
What's the going rate?
It depends really it depends on your setup. I mean, when I worked at Roto-Rooter, our guys were 100% commission. Our water techs got paid minimum wage or 7%. And once they got over the minimum wage of 40-hour rate, they got 7% minus any outside cost, which were deducted twice. So like if you had to get a dumpster and it's $300, I'm going to take $600 off the estimate. You got 7% of everything else. So my guys were all about like hauling the trash back and going back out and get another trip and everything else. They were making sure the photos were getting done. I had some water techs making equivalent on a 40-hour basis of like $96 an hour. They were banking it left and right. And you better believe oh, hey, why did I, and we always bounce it out by, after negotiations, if it went down, you got deducted from your next paycheck, whatever went down. So you're not going over 7%. And $20-$30, they don't care. You hit $50 or more, they were in the office. Who fucked up? Who didn't do it there? Is this our fault? Is this your fault, Joe? Did you just, and you better believe photos were immaculate. The job sites were 100%. I mean, I've never worked at a company that I heard so many times, well, that's just not standard in your area. Okay, but it's standard per the standard. So what's your point? And my guys, I mean, every job they were demoing, they were double bagging, they were pulling the pressure washer out and rinsing the floor clean. They were blocking furniture. They did everything because they knew their checks depended on the more I do that's valid and cannot be justified, the better I make it. And if you're going to do an hourly basis because you guys have your water techs doing other stuff, fire demos and recon sometimes, maybe just doing a 1% or a 0.5% or a quarter, whatever you want, but giving them a little bit of skin in the game will dramatically overnight change the way your operation runs. And I guarantee it.
The dollars you spend incentivizing will come back 10x at least.
Is there software that you recommend for keeping track of that, Joe?
I mean, every time I wrote an estimate, and I would send it over to our account, or I would write the estimate and everything. I would send an email over to our AR lady, and I would just say, Smith job, $10,500. Sales guy, Bobby gets 3%. Lead water tech, Tommy gets 7%. And she would
easy enough. It's easy enough to set up an accounting. Your account should be able to do that. All right. I think that's a great note to end on. We went for an hour and a half for the first time in, I don't know, a long time.
It's because you had to make up for me being late.
I did. I was waiting for
40 minutes of cartoons.
Waiting for you. Mr. Larson, do you have anything to add? You were kind of quiet today.
No, it's all interesting. Oh, one question I had before we go. So on the Chat GPT, so if we're using your thing, do you get to see that stuff, or is it kind of learning off the data we're putting? Or
I was hoping I would, but no, I don't see any of that. But I did see, it was interesting. I can see how many chats have been generated, but I can't see the contents of those chats. But yes, it is informing the model. All inputs are being fed back and fed back and fed back. So it will, the more people that use it, just be patient with it and tell it to reiterate and reiterate. If you don't like its output, it's going to get better and better and better.
Yeah, I was messing around with it while we were chatting.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Andy, just on that point, we can, if we sign up for the plus, we can find your chat.
Yeah, you just search for it.
Yeah, just search for it.
Search
and you can make your own. I'm not the brainiest guy. You could try it on your own. I think we have an opportunity as a group to all use the same one and start just turbocharging this thing.
Automatically fine tune it. It'll figure out.
And you just, when it comes up with something, and if it's just dead wrong, I just tell it, hey, that's not correct. This is correct. Or, so today I went back into the back workings of this one, and I said, you're being too agreeable. Because it was just acquiescing. I was like, no, that's not the purpose of this. This is not to make the adjuster feel good about what they're doing here. So yeah,
this person is not my friend.
This person is not my friend. Not my friend.
I think it would be great to use. I think it would be great to use for auditors also, though, just to put that in there. Like it would be really good.
I think you would need to build a different one for that purpose. Because I think if we started trying to use this for any other purpose, it would get confused and just get mushy. It wouldn't get as good. So, all right. I love you all for showing up for me. I appreciate it.
You're the best, Amy. How's your boy?
He's good. He hasn't been, he's been red flagged by USASA National. So we got to get him cleared by a doctor, but hopefully we can do that because he's got a competition on Saturday.
But so he's okay.
Oh, he's fine. He's got sick today. He got, but it's not related to a concussion. So I appreciate you asking, man. He's fine. He's a tough kid. We just got to go through the red tape now.
Right on. So, okay, cool.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.
Take care.
Good night, Joe. Good night, Eddie.